Dauphinoise potatoes is an absolute French staple, perfect for this time of year. If you don't know what this dish is, it is beautiful potatoes sliced thinly, cooked in cream. Now the secret to this dish is infusing the cream with lots of flavor, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do that in this video. Oh, and what type of potato you need. Here's a little sneak peek. This lovely red potato is one of the best ones that you can use for this dish. So let's get cracking. This one is perfect for this time of year. Let's go. So we're going to get ourselves set up with one bowl with some water, and then we've got 1.5 kilos of potato that we're going to peel, and then we're going to put the peeled potatoes into our water, and then we're going to slice them. Make sure you've got cold water as well. Ooh, beauty. So get your potato, put it into your water. That'll stop it from discoloring as well. So we've got our potatoes there. Let them chill out for a minute. Before we slice them, we're going to infuse our cream. That's the secret to your Dauphinoise. Get plenty of flavor in the cream. So we're going to get our cream, we're going to infuse it. So we've got 800 mils of heavy cream, basically double cream, and then 200 mils of full fat milk. So you're going to have a litre in total. And then I've got 4 cloves of garlic. You can use 3 if you don't like it too garlicky. Stick that in. A couple of bay leaves. And then we're going to season this up with a bit of salt to taste, but you want it to go all the way through, so be generous. And you can add black pepper, white pepper, whatever you want. Some people, traditionally it's like white pepper, but I don't mind a bit of black pepper in there. So we'll get that on the stove and then we'll get slicing our potatoes. So what you want to do is keep an eye on that cream before you just start doing this next job of slicing the potatoes, because you will overboil your cream. Trust me, I've done it. Not a very nice place to be when you've got to clean that off your stove. So keep an eye on it. Also forgot to mention, grate a bit of nutmeg as well in this cream. Just a nice little grating. Let that infuse in there as well. Okay, so let that infuse for about another 10 minutes. So that cream's infusing, you just barely bring it up to a boil, cover it, turn it off, leave it for about 20-30 minutes or so. And then we're going to start slicing these. Now we want to slice these about 3 mil, nothing more than that. Be careful. If it's a bit wet, it's a bit slippy, you can use a guard. I found it finally. That can help. So you want it to about, not too thick, not too thin. I find that kind of a texture, that kind of a thickness is really good for Dauphinoise, about 3 mil. And what you want to do is all these little odds and ends, save them for a bit of mash. Or if they're not too thick, you can stick them in as well. Get a deli container and just keep them in there. Kind of helps as well that if these are all the same sort of shape and size as well. I can just hear you in the comments right now, use a guard, use a guard. I should do, shouldn't I? You will be surprised at the amount of professional chefs that don't use a guard and then they end up cutting themselves. Or they just kind of, I think we just get so busy in the kitchen, we've got so many jobs to do that you kind of just forget about safety sometimes, which is, you know, bad to say, but I wait till I get down to about there and then I use my cloth. In my mind, I feel like I'm being safe, so let's see. It helps as well if your potatoes are all kind of the same shape, because then they'll all kind of cook relatively at the same time, so that really helps. If you're a bit squeamish about using a mandolin, just get your old trusty chopper out and give it a little slice, knife that is. And what we want to do here is wash off a little bit of this starch. Okay, so just separate them. And then what we're going to do is we're going to dry these out. You just use a kitchen towel. Now, some people, what they do is they boil the potato first in the cream. Cuts the cooking time down in half and everything else. But I find what happens with that is it's a very fine line from when you can just basically overcook the potato and it's just too mushy. Now, if you wanted to get ahead, what you could do is you could slice this the day before, keep it in water in the fridge, and then the next day you can take it out, dry it, and then you can layer it. Our cream has infused quite nicely. Be a little bit tepid. Still warm there. Don't throw that garlic out because it's going to be nice and soft. So take out your cloves. And all we're going to do is just mush that. You can just see it's nice and soft. By doing it this way, you get a real nice flavour of garlic running all the way through. Okay. Get that in. And then get yourself a whisk. And just make sure that's all nicely whisked through. Make sure you got your seasoning right. bit more salt. Because this is your opportunity to season it now, so you need to go a little bit more aggressive because you can't season it later, because this is the whole vehicle of the dish. This infuses everything. So the more flavor you get into this, the better your Dauphinoise will be. Very nice. Okay, set that aside. I get a fresh towel, and then I'm just going to take these out bit by bit. Just put them in here to dry. Because what you don't want to do is you don't want to take these out wet, because then you get really watery Dauphinoise. And that is not good. You just gently press that down just to soak up any excess. Like I said, these are kind of optional steps, but I find that if you leave it too wet, it's far too watery. Let's set that aside a second and then move on to the rest. You're going to want a nice oven tray, like something like a nice stoneware. Something like this is perfect. This one's about 8 by 11 if you're going actually from the edges to the edges. Okay, so we'll give that a rough little buttering, not too crazy. And then we're also going to need some cheese. So we've got about 80 grams of grated cheese. We've got a little bit of Gruyere and a little bit of like Pecorino Romano, bit of Parmesan. Now you can just use Gruyere, but I find that just having a nice little blend, it's not a bad thing. Okay, let's get layering this.
So put the first layer of potatoes in your dish. They don't need to be neatly arranged. And then we're going to pour over some cream. And what we're trying to do is get the cream all up in the business with those potatoes. Mix it in, push it down a touch more. Keep layering, adding cream and pressing it down as you go to compact it. When you get to the middle layer, that's when we're going to add in our lovely cheese. If you decide to use the cheese, that is. Another layer of potatoes. We can layer it up a little bit nicer if we like here. Bit more cream. Press that down, and then what we're trying to do is get enough cream just to cover the last layer by a little bit, a few millimeters or so. Might get a little bit messy on you, so don't be afraid to get a cloth and have a cheeky little wipe down once you get to about this stage, which I have done there. Okay, now we're going to use the last of those potatoes. We're going to add in the rest of that cream, smush it down. We're going to put it onto a tray. It's very important you bake this on a tray. Add the last little bit of the cream. Just press that down one more time and then generously grate over black pepper and nutmeg.
So there we have a beautiful Dauphinoise potato that we're going to now bake in a hot oven. So we're going to bake this low and slow, 300 Fahrenheit, it's about 150 C, for about 2, maybe even 3 hours. All depends on how quick it soaks up all that lovely cream. Okay, let's get this in the oven. We'll check on it after an hour. Oh yeah, and always put it on a tray. Makes your life a lot easier. So if any does spill, it doesn't go on the bottom of your oven. That's been in for about an hour and a half. You can see there's all these bits that have kind of like gone crispy on top, but there's a lot of cream underneath. So just push that back under, and that's going to give a chance for the cream underneath to get to the top, because the cream always rises to the top. Stick that back in the oven about another hour, hour and a half. Here we go, take a look at that. Beautiful. It's been in for about 3 hours. Low and slow. Oh yeah, very nice. All your potatoes cooked quite nicely. That'll keep warm for quite some time, so you can just serve that. I reckon you'll get 8 people, 6 to 8 I can get out of that, for a generous portion. Okay, so it's cooled down a little bit now, so let's get a little wodge in. Looks good, good, good. Put a little bit on. And we've got a lovely Dauphinoise. Potatoes should be nice and soft. Oh yeah. So good. You can taste the cheese, you can taste all the nice cream, all the garlic. Not too complicated, nice easy little dish to put together, pretty simple. So there you go, potato Dauphinoise. You can make this ahead of time and just serve it, warm it up in the oven, absolutely delicious. You get a little bit of liquid left in the bottom, like only a little bit, but that just kind of soaks through. Give this one a go, very nice indeed, absolute classic. Okay, time to enjoy this. I'll catch you all on the next one. Oh, please like, comment and subscribe and all that jazz. Appreciate all of you that have done so far. See you in the next video.